What's going on YouTube? This is TCat and today we're going to be reacting to ShakeDown2012's initial thoughts on his early playthrough of 2K23. Apparently he got to go out to Vegas and play the game early. It was an alpha or early version or early build of the game. But here's some things he had to say and then I'm going to be reacting to them. I have some quotes here. He said the dribbling was less twitchy and there were no extreme speed boosts left or right. He said most guards like to, combo speed boost left, combo speed boost right, or explode right or explode left. He said that's not in the game and I'm really excited about that. I've been complaining about 5'8" guards being overpowered all year long. And just like in real life, how, Isaiah Thomas might be a great scorer when he was on the Celtics, incredible scorer. I love Isaiah, incredible scorer, right? He's not so dominant of a player that he has to control everything, right? Like even Steph Curry at 6'3", he's 6'3" doing what he does, right? But he's not 10 times faster than every other player on the court, right? He's just shifty. He's shifty and an incredibly skilled player. He's not the most athletic player on the court, meaning in terms of speed and acceleration, but he's incredible dribbler, an incredible shooter, greatest shooter of all time. So okay, let him be great at that, but don't let him just have an unrealistic speed advantage that's, Usain Bolt couldn't run as fast as these 5'8" point guards are running this year. It's insane. All right, so that's a huge plus. Post scoring and fades created more space and greened more easily. I love that. Oh my goodness. I definitely want to make a taller shot creator build or like a post score at some point in the year in this new 2K. Carmelo Anthony build coming soon. Hakeem Olajuwon build coming soon for 2K23. Mark my words on that. He said on-ball defense feels better. He was talking about guarding Steph Curry with Lonzo Ball. And he said Lonzo is able to actually stay in front of him laterally a lot more. And as a taller defender, which I like, he was actually able to bother Steph Curry with his height, with his size. I love that. I'm a big fan of that. Defense needs to get better this next year. Offense is meaningless. Doesn't matter how good offense is meaningless without good defense. Right stick hands up defense is less effective, but closeouts are faster. I have to see how it plays out in the game, but I'm thinking I really like that. Give the defense the ability to get to a spot in the floor with, with all of their athleticism that they're gonna have. Give them the ability to get to a spot in the floor faster, like that, but make it so when they get there, it's not free. It's not automatic. There's no ghost contest. Don't let there be a ghost contest, right? On a good player. Make it so their contest has to mean something. They have to really get there and play that spot. You understand? Here's a scenario, right? Let's say I choose to be a shot creator and I model my game after Kobe Bryant. Forget dunking, forget passing, forget defense even. Let's just say, just talking about Kobe's ability to fade away and hit tough shots. Just talking about that. Or Tracy McGrady's ability to fade away and hit tough shots. Just that part of his game, not any of the other parts. If I model my game, if that's what I practice, and I build my build with all the badges to be able to do that particular thing, whatever those badges are going to be, whatever that archetype is going to be in this new game, however they do the archetype system, which we'll talk about that in a later video, I want to be able to hit tough shots. Meaning if you just close out to me and get like a 5, 10, 15% contest, nah, I'm still going to green that because I practice it all day long. So that's not going to be enough to stop me. And that's how it should be, because you weren't stopping those players either with all that great, 90s, 2000s, 2010s defense that I hear so much about, right? Catch and shoot. He said catch and shoot is better and easier to green. It's a more viable strategy, meaning you can just throw it to somebody at the wing and they can catch and shoot with less space this year. I like that. I like that you actually have to really play defense on people. Again, ghost contest shouldn't be a thing against a good player. If I model my game after Klay Thompson, and a lot of people will model their game after Klay Thompson in the sense that they're going to be standing in a spot on the floor, waiting to get fed, and their whole goal is going to be dedicated around catching and shooting really fast and really efficiently, and then playing defense on the other end. That's a very viable strategy. You should be able to make a Klay Thompson level build if you want to. And if that's what everyone in the game wants to do, fine. And there's always the strategy every year of let the point guard go nuts and then have a bunch of Klay Thompsons on the floor, right? Of different sizes. Have like a 6 foot, you know, this year was like 6'3" was like the shooting guard height, which is dumb. You have a 5'8" point guard and you have a 6'3" two guard. Those guys get exposed in, you know, real NBA at that height if you have that small of a you know, backcourt. But you know, with that being said, regardless of whatever the heights are, a bunch of Klay Thompsons run around, love it, fine with it, because if the defense is empowered, right, and we take away Sniper, get that badge out of the game, please. I don't know if it is or not. No one said anything if it's out of the game yet, but I'm hoping it is. Fingers crossed. Would love it. Would love all of that. It's good news. He said the game feels more realistic. Huge fan of it. People use the word arcadey to describe 2K22 and some other 2Ks as well, but 2K22 specifically. I don't know if I use the word arcadey, but just I want some more diversity in my basketball. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, okay, so I complain all the time about 5'8" point guards being too fast, and one guy taking 30 shots a game while everyone else just sits there waiting to be fed, like, you know, like children, like and like that, like they didn't pay $60 for the game or $100 or 150, you know, all this extra for VC and the Legend Edition and all this other crud, right? They all paid for the game too, so I would never let someone put me in a corner and they take 30 shots and then they kick it to me with 1 second on the clock and expect me to hit that contested shot every time. I don't want to do that. That's not my game. I'm not, you know, saying anything about anyone else that wants to do that again. If you want to be Klay Thompson and make that your build, that's lovely. Every once in a while, I have an urge to play like Ray Allen, so I get it. You know what I mean? I get it, but that's not me. So it's a viable play strategy to do that, but I want diversity in the sense of this. If we want to run a triangle offense and play games like the 90s Bulls, you know what, and we have a player that's as good as Michael Jordan is, right? Then that's the part that matters. You have to have the personnel for it. If we have the type of defense that the Bulls did, we can play that strong a defense. Like, those guys are just, they practice every day in the game, hours and hours in the game every day. Let us be able to do that. Let us empower our play style to the maximum of what it could be in real life too, right? If we wanted to play a warrior style, a run and gun, and everyone can shoot and you can't double anybody because everyone can shoot, that's viable. If we want to run a 5-out strategy, if we want to do like the Mavericks, right? Let Luka go crazy, everyone else stands around and shoot, that's fine. If we want to run a motion offense with a lot of pin downs, a lot of wraps, a lot of off-ball screens, if we want to run the Celtics 08 offense, where Ray Allen's running off, Paul Pierce is running off, KG's getting in the post, we have Rondo running the show, and it's a true point guard that actually passes the ball. Let that be a style of play that can flourish if you practice it. Let the Clippers Lob City team be a style of play. If we have a guy that models his game after a prime Blake Griffin, and another guy that models his game after a prime DeAndre Jordan, right? You know, why not? And we have a guy that can pass like Chris Paul. Why not? Why not let that style of play at least make an impact? I'm not saying that's going to be the greatest style of play in the universe, and oh my God, you know, all the styles of play have to be completely equal. Some things have evolved in basketball. Obviously, the 3-point shot has become more prevalent in basketball. Just statistically, people are shooting way more threes and also making way more threes than ever before in history. But even with that being said, other styles of play should at least be able to interject, have a say, have a word in edgewise, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be completely dominated by one style of play. If you want to have a team that played like what the Nets wanted to do, where it's kind of like just ISO take turns, Kevin Durant's turn to ISO, now it's James Harden's turn to ISO, now it's Kyrie Irving's turn to ISO. Again, not that I love that play style, but if you have a guy that's as good as Kevin Durant playing with a guy that's as good as James Harden playing with a guy that's as good at scoring as Kyrie Irving, why not? Oh, right? Why not let that happen? You know what I mean? Different styles of play should be allowed in the game and diverse, and it should still take skill, and that's where the skills gap matters. That's why I want a bigger skills gap, so that if someone has a different style of play, they can be great playing their play style. They don't have to learn. I don't want my skill to be judged off of how well I do the meta And that's my biggest gripe with 2K22. And it sounds like from what Shakedown is saying in 2K23, there's gonna be a lot more diversity, which I'm super excited for. Let's see. He said layups are back. You know I'm excited about that. Please go check out my layup mixtape. I have a bunch of them, but I think this one is actually, I got like over 100,000 views on TikTok on it, and I think a couple thousand on YouTube. My shorts, I put up the YouTube shorts. They're still the same videos from TikTok, but just the shorts on YouTube. Go check it out. Really excited about that. Dunk meter's still there, but it's like the shot meter is for 2K22, and the shot meter for 2K22 is like the shot meter for 2K20. Except now it's not from holding down the right stick. So if you hold down the right stick, it's gonna be like a flashy dunk or something. I have mixed feelings about this. I'm not super optimistic about this part. I've been a pure slasher I've had a lot of pure slasher builds, I should say, for a long time. I started my 2K journey as a pure slasher, and I've played at some pretty high level. I've been on top 50 pro-am teams as a pure slasher, where people said like, you know, like a pure slasher wouldn't work, but I was hitting more spot up corner threes than pure sharps were, just because I practiced every day. And I was dunking on absolutely everyone, because they would all try to stand out of position and guard two in the paint. Every center has this bad habit. They want to be the almighty center to guard everything they ever touch the paint. But that's not how real life basketball works against the greatest slashers of all time. You can't guard Vince Carter by standing on the left side of the key. If Vince Carter's flying from the right wing to go dunk on the right side of the rim, and even if you have some of the greatest defenders of all time, if you have Hakeem Olajuwon standing at the left block, deep in the left block too, like he's guarding someone who has a lot of attention on that left block, and he has to run all the way from the left side all the way to the right side, and he doesn't react until Vince Carter gets, you know, like 2 feet in the paint. Should Hakeem even have a chance at that? I don't think so. I don't think he should, because Vince Carter wouldn't give him a chance at that. You know what I'm saying? If Alonzo Mourning was standing there, we already saw what that looked like in real life. He already got him. You know what I'm saying? He already got Dikembe in real life too. We already saw what that looks like. So why not let a guy have that level of athleticism? That's just a guy that's 6'6", and that's an older player. What about LeBron, who's 6'8", right? Take away LeBron's shooting. Get that out of his game. Take away his defending. Well, not his defending. Take away his passing. Take away his passing and take away his shooting. Take away both those things. LeBron is one of the most dominant slashers of all time still. And in his youth, as the rookie on the Cavs, a couple years into the Cavs, oh my God, if I can just make that version of LeBron, again, you don't even need to give me his shooting. You don't even need to give me his passing. Just give me his defense, his athleticism, his slashing, a little bit of his dribbling. I mean, he's not even a great dribbler. He's a good dribbler. He's not great. He's not like Steph Curry or Kyrie Irving. Give me that, I'd be happy, right? Making that archetype and dunking on somebody, and there's no defender on the planet Earth that's gonna stop him. Kevin Garnett wasn't stopping him. Yao Ming wasn't stopping him. You know what I mean? Dwight Howard wasn't stopping him. Come on, right? That's all I'm saying about diversity. Let me have that diversity. So I'm not sure about this whole dunk meter thing. I feel like the dunk meter is kind of a distraction from, as a content creator especially, the dunk meter is a distraction from the poster dunks that I like to showcase in my highlight videos. I don't want to have to time all my dunks, and I don't want, if I choose not to time a dunk, for me to get punished and chased down by like a guard or something with like very little defense, or to get taken out of my animation by somebody who doesn't have like a lot of defense, or is completely out of position, maybe I should say. I think that's dumb. Some of the questions I still have after watching this video: can you still dead zone? Meaning stand under the basket and wait for defenders, or wait for the defender to jump. You know, I don't know if that should be in 2K or not. I want to see how effective dead zoning is in this new 2K. Are close moving shots or moving fades back or better? What do I mean by that? In old 2Ks, used to be able to very close to the basket still run full speed and take a fadeaway, not a layup, right? Not a step back, not some weird animation where you kind of crunch your feet up in the air into your chest and kind of like double pump and throw it up and it's NA. You used to be able to time the shots really close to the basket, and that meant the defender has to guard you more, has to guard more space on the court basically. So you're making the defender work harder with those animations. I'm not saying that should be the meta or something like that. Just if I make a Carmelo build or a Kobe Bryant build or something, let me be able to hit close moving shots, you know, or like at least practice them and work on being able to green them. I feel you can't do that in 2K22. You couldn't do it in 2K21. 2K21 was the year they took those animations out for whatever reason. It felt like they had broken that part of the game trying to work on something. I'm not actually sure what happened. Another question I have, how much control do I have in creating the contact as an offensive player finishing around the basket? I don't feel like enough people ask this question. I know it's a video game, but if we talk about making it realistic, okay, you know, I don't care what size you are. I care about what your skill level is. If Derrick Rose is running full speed to the basket, and you know he's got even forget prime D Rose, even nowadays D Rose. Think about D Rose and the Timberwolves, and he has the Stifle Tower down there, Rudy Gobert waiting for him. I remember in that game on the Timberwolves, he got 50 and against the Jazz with Rudy Gobert guarding him in the paint. Derrick Rose was able to create contact on Rudy, one of the best paint defenders in the modern NBA, and be able to hold the ball away from Rudy, or with his shiftiness, act like he's going to finish on one side of the basket and have the control to finish on the other side of the basket. That is something I want in 2K23. I hope that's in the game. I have questions about that. For now, I'm gonna cut the video short. After hearing what Shake said about it, I'm actually really excited for 2K23. Stick around to hear more of my thoughts in future videos. And as always, thanks for watching, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.